Hello, and welcome back to Ms. Grimm's Storytime. I'm so glad you could join me. Tonight, we have a tale that was shared with us by a brave woman named Sunny. She found herself in a situation most unsettling, far from her home, in the beautiful yet often mysterious lands of the Philippines, specifically in Dumaguete City. Sunny took on the role of an au pair for a foreigner residing there, a seemingly quiet job in a seemingly perfect home. But as many of you know, sometimes the prettiest surfaces hide the deepest secrets, and the quietest places hold the loudest echoes. Sunny's story, as she shared it with me, delves into those echoes, into the unsettling truth lurking beneath a very charming facade. It's a reminder that not all monsters dwell in the dark forests, and not all screams are heard by the living. So, settle in, dim the lights, and let's listen closely to the echoes of Willow Creek House.
You know, I always liked new starts. I was tired of my small town, the way everyone knew everyone else's business. After a really rough year, let's just say things didn't go so well with a previous job. The idea of a fresh start, far away, just called to me. I was looking for a place where no one knew my past, where I could just breathe. And then a friend mentioned this job for an au pair near Dumaguete City, Sibulan specifically. It sounded so peaceful. I'd never been a nanny before, and living with strangers felt a bit weird, a big step. But the house, Willow Creek House, looked nice in the pictures. Big garden, quiet street, lots of green trees. And the pay was good. Really good, which was a huge plus. Mr. Elias Thorne, the dad, seemed kind on our video calls. A bit formal, maybe, and his smile didn't quite reach his eyes, but I told myself that was just shyness. After talking to him a few times, I decided to take the leap. I said yes. Willow Creek House was exactly like the photos, and then some. It sat back from the main road, hidden by these ancient, giant acacia trees, their leaves always whispering, even when there was no wind. It truly felt like a world away from Dumaguete City's gentle bustle, like its own quiet island. Mr. Thorne was attentive, gave me a thorough tour, showed me where everything was. He was always polite, almost too polite. And his two kids, Lily and Sam, they were sweet, just really, really quiet. They barely made a sound, even when they played. He explained their mom had passed away suddenly about a year ago, which of course was sad. My job was to help with the children, manage light household duties, and generally try to bring some warmth back into their seemingly perfect but strangely muted home. The first few weeks, honestly, felt like a dream. The morning air smelled like damp earth and blooming jasmine. Lily and Sam slowly started to open up to me, their smiles appearing more often. Sometimes even a quiet giggle from Lily during story time. I spent my mornings cleaning the big, airy rooms, letting the sea breeze from the nearby coast sweep through the open windows. The house was spotless, but it had a certain age charm, with dark, polished wood and old carpets that muffled your footsteps. I felt productive, needed. I thought, this is it. I finally found my peaceful place. But then, the quiet in the house started to feel heavy, like someone was always watching. It began small, so small I almost dismissed it. I'd be in the kitchen, washing dishes, and I'd hear a soft, almost imperceptible whisper right behind me. Just a breath, really. I'd spin around, but there'd be no one. Just the empty space. Or I'd hear a child's faint giggle, like a small echo from the playroom when both kids were definitely at school. their backpacks still by the door. Things would move too. I'd straighten a picture on the wall, and later I'd find it slightly crooked again. A toy Sam had left in the living room would turn up in his bedroom, even though I hadn't touched it. I just told myself I was tired, my mind playing tricks, or maybe the house was just really old and settling. Then came the voices. They got clearer. Not just whispers, but fragments of actual conversation, hushed pleas, and sometimes desperate cries, right in the middle of the night. They came from everywhere and nowhere all at once, chilling me to the bone. One night, a sudden, sharp fear woke me up. I distinctly heard a woman's muffled scream, followed by a sickening thud from downstairs. I just froze in my bed, my heart hammering so hard I thought it would burst. I lay there, listening. After what felt like an eternity of terrifying silence, I heard the sound of water running, then quick, light footsteps. The next morning, everything looked normal. Too normal. Mr. Thorne was whistling faintly in the kitchen, making breakfast. That's when I really started to see red flags. Mr. Thorne was so meticulous, obsessively so, about certain parts of the house. Like the large, secluded shed at the very back of the garden. It was always locked, with a heavy padlock. And he'd get really agitated, a strange flash in his eyes, if anyone, even the kids, went anywhere near it. He always discouraged Lily and Sam from playing in the deeper parts of the garden too, saying it had old, unstable roots or dangerous insects, which felt like a strange excuse for such well-kept grounds. I also found these old photos hidden in a forgotten drawer in the attic while I was cleaning. Lots of young women, all smiling brightly. I didn't recognize any of them, but each photo was strangely defaced. An eye scratched out here, a face subtly obscured there. It gave me a weird, cold feeling. Then, one day, while I was cleaning the dusty basement, I found a small, fancy locket tucked away behind a stack of old boxes. It was unlocked, and inside there was a single dried white rose petal and tiny, almost invisible words engraved. Anna, March 10th. Who was Anna? The voices grew more insistent then, clearer, louder, desperate, pleading with me. Not in actual words I could always understand, but in raw, unadulterated emotion that just hit me in the gut. They were trying so hard to tell me something. Late one night, I was woken by a chilling sight. A translucent, shimmering figure of a young woman standing at the foot of my bed. Her face was a mask of sorrow, her lips moving in a silent scream that I couldn't hear but could feel. My blood just ran cold. I wasn't dreaming. This was real. The figure just pointed a long, shimmering finger towards the garden, then towards that locked shed, before slowly, terribly fading away. My mind just raced, putting pieces together I never wanted to see. The whispered pleas, the defaced photos, the locked shed, the dates. A horrifying realization began to dawn on me, tightening like a vice around my chest. The previous au pairs, all those disappearances from the job listings. They didn't just leave Willow Creek House. I had to find out. I had to know. I waited until Mr. Thorne took the children out for the day, for their weekly trip to the park. My heart hammered against my ribs, so loud I thought he might hear it as he left. My hands shook as I worked on the padlock of the shed. I didn't know I knew how to pick a lock, but something just guided my fingers. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of damp earth and something sickly sweet. something wrong. There were gardening tools, a big shovel, and this spot of fresh, disturbed dirt at the very back. Hidden beneath a tarp, I found a series of carefully wrapped bundles. Each one contained a woman's personal belongings, a diary with frantic scribbles, a set of car keys, a worn photograph. And there was another small, elegant locket, just like the one I found in the basement. But this one had a different inscription. Clara, July 22nd. The true horror, the full, crushing weight of it, set in then. He wasn't just getting rid of them, he was collecting them. A terrible, silent trophy room of lives he had ended. The faint figures were all around me in the shed now, their silent pleas screaming in my head. Their desperation turned to urgency, like a desperate hope, urging me on. They were helping me. As I frantically dug in the soft earth, my shovel hit something hard. It wasn't bones, thank God, but a small, heavy metal box. Inside, I found stacks of life insurance papers, all bought recently. All listed Mr. Elias Thorne as the primary beneficiary, and the biggest one? It was under the name Mrs. Sophia Thorne, his wife, the one who had passed away suddenly exactly a year ago. It wasn't just the nannies. He had killed his own wife for money. That's when I knew I had to get out, and I had to tell someone. The next part was a blur of pure adrenaline and absolute terror. I ran to a neighbor's house, my legs shaking so hard I almost fell. My voice broke, barely a whisper, as I called the police. I didn't even know what I was saying, just crying out pieces of the horror.
Hello?
When Mr. Thorne returned with the children, whistling a little tune, flashing his usual charming smile, the police cars were already there. He denied everything, of course, his handsome face twisting into this mask of righteous indignation. But I had the proof. The locket, the contents of the shed, the stacks of insurance papers, and the police, seeing the raw, desperate energy radiating from me, the way I was shaking but still standing firm, felt a cold, undeniable suspicion in their gut. They started digging in the garden that very afternoon. The truth came out fast. Horrifically fast. They found the bodies of several young women buried in his perfectly manicured garden. The full, sickening extent of Elias Thorne's depravity was uncovered. A horrifying saga of charm used to lure and then dispose of those who entered his seemingly perfect life. He was caught, tried, and put in prison. The children, innocent victims in their own twisted home, were placed into loving foster care, far away from Willow Creek House. My life changed a lot, you see. It wasn't just the job that ended. The world didn't feel so simple or safe anymore. I often felt a lingering presence, a subtle shift in the air, a fleeting shadow out of the corner of my eye. But it was different now. It wasn't scary. It was like a quiet thank you. The echoes of Willow Creek House had finally found justice. I never became an au pair again. Instead, I went back to school, pursued a career in investigative social work. I'm forever haunted by the silent pleas of those who couldn't speak for themselves, but eternally grateful for their ghostly aid. But the biggest change, sometimes when I'm alone in my apartment, even now in a completely different city, I hear it. Just a faint something, a little note, a whisper, and it's not coming from outside. I'll be sitting here watching TV, and a cold spot will just pass right through me. Last night it was the tapping from my own closet, and I knew there was nothing in there, nothing at all. And then, this morning, I found it on my wrist. Just a small, faint, grayish patch, like faded seafoam, or like a tiny piece of the mansion's old, weathered stone. Just there. It's not just the memories, you see. It's the house. It came with me. And the whispers. They're inside now. They're me. And sometimes when I close my eyes, I can almost feel the endless pull of the tide, calling my name, just like it called all the others who faded from Willow Creek House. It never really let anyone go. Not completely.
Sunny's courage in the face of such chilling revelations is a testament to the strength that can be found even in the most ordinary of people. And the whispers she encountered, well, they serve as a potent reminder that even in silence, stories yearn to be told and justice sought. I hope you found tonight's story as captivating and perhaps a little bit chilling as I did. If you enjoyed delving into the shadows with us tonight and would like to hear more tales from the darker corners of our world, please do give this video a like. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Ms. Grimm's Storytime. We have many more spectral narratives and eerie encounters waiting just for you. Until our next shadowy gathering, sleep soundly, if you can. And remember, sometimes the quietest places whisper the loudest truth.